Kyren, a very impressive win against a very difficult opponent potentially in Lee Hang. So to come through that 4-0 with ease, you must be delighted.
Yeah, you said it there. He's a very difficult opponent to play against. Very good match player, and I've had a couple of games with him recently in some qualifiers where I think it went to the wire. So I knew I was in for a tough match today. So delighted to come out sort of with a comfortable victory in the end.
It's reaching that business end of the season where there's all sorts of different subplots to the events. So far in that sort of BetVictor European Series bonus and the race to get to the Tour Championship, your season's maybe not gone quite well enough to be in a strong position for those, but this is a sort of week where you could turn those around and come into contention for both. So
yeah, as weird as it sounds, I always like sort of when you go to Gibraltar, you need something on it, and because obviously it's like the final, it's kind of not one of the lesser tournaments that we play, but in terms of prize money it doesn't have as much money on it. But I remember playing Judd there sort of 2 years ago, and it turned into just such a huge match because he was playing for the bonus and I was playing for the Tour Championship and to win the title in Gibraltar. So I know I'm kind of hovering around there, but yeah, as long as I'm sort of in contention with a tournament to go, I'd sort of take that really.
Yeah, deep run this week would put you in the mix for that £150,000 bonus, wouldn't it? So I suppose it does just put that little bit extra on these events, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's such a great event here. It's always really well supported in Wales. We're obviously at a new venue this year, which I think is fantastic. And when there's good crowds in, even at a 10 a.m. session, it gives you a buzz, and it gives you the enjoyment factor of playing here.
How do you feel where your game is at? You've obviously played pretty well this season, but just those two semi-finals, I think, of the Champion of Champions and the UK Championship. I know you set your standards at winning events. Has that been a slight frustration that you haven't kind of been able to get any silverware so far?
Yeah, I keep saying it, but players are just playing. I just think the standard has gone through the roof this year. I think there's a stat floating around that we've had sort of 9 different winners this season, so that just sort of speaks volumes. You're sort of seeing a young Chinese generation that are coming through. I lost to Fan Zhengyi in the last 16 or last 32, I think it was, in the European last week, where he beat me 5-4 and went on to win the tournament. So for me, that's sort of a reoccurrence. I've just got to keep sort of plugging away, and that door will knock down eventually.
Yeah, do you envisage, obviously, that class of 92 still right at the top of the game and winning the biggest events, but at one point they, I'm sure, will be gone in the future, whenever that is. Do you envisage yourself in a kind of battle with this new kind of Chinese contingent at some point? Is that kind of, over the next 15 years or so, do you see that's the way it's going to be going, sort of like you and Judd?
Yeah, I think it's great, to be honest. I was sort of travelling home from my first round game the other day, and I had a phone call with my coach, Barry Stark, and he's been doing a bit of coaching at these academies. And he said to me, these lads are putting 8 hours a day in. If you're not putting at least 5 in, they're going to overtake you. They want your guts, basically. So, when you hear that, it makes you think, right, okay, I'm going to go away, I'm going to work now, and I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. So, for me, it's a positive thing.
And up next for you this week, Matt Selt is another tough opponent, so you have your hands full with that one.
Yeah, really good match player, nice lad. It's going to be a tough game. He's been around for a while and he's very experienced. So, yeah, I got a tough match there.